As part of my evaluation, I'm going to be answering question 1, which is: in what ways does your media product use, develop, or challenge forms and conventions of real media products? There are many ways in which my media product used, developed, and challenged forms and conventions of real media products. My media product was a 2-minute opening title sequence which me and my team members had to make. In this case, we had chosen the genre of psychological thriller. This is because I had to select a subgenre of a thriller. As for AS Media, we were assigned the task to make a short video / opening title sequence focusing mainly on the genre of thriller. What is a psychological thriller? A psychological thriller is a fictional thriller story which emphasizes the psychology of its characters and their unstable emotional states. In terms of classification, the category is a subgenre of the broader-ranging thriller category, with many similarities to gothic and detective fiction in the sense of sometimes having a dissolving sense of reality, moral ambiguity, and complex and tortured relationships. Psychological thrillers often incorporate elements of mystery, drama, action, and horror, particularly psychological horror. As I have been working on my thriller opening title sequences, I was very clear of the forms and conventions that would be found within a thriller film. They include gentle, diegetic / non-diegetic sound to start off with, a disturbing shot, often someone killed, dead, or hurt. In this case, the protagonist killed. More disequilibrium than equilibrium. The editing becomes more apparent with more shots. More cuts and more transitions during the disequilibrium scenes. A scare shot at the end of the clip. Title card and credit block. Most often has a vulnerable character and a villain. In our opening title sequence, we followed some of these conventions as well. One soundtrack, which is gentle and eerie to start off with, then crescendos into being heavy. We have equilibrium at the start. A disturbing shot, often someone killed, dead, or hurt. Fade to black to create suspense. We challenge conventions of a typical psychological thriller by having a young, vulnerable male as the victim. This is challenging conventions because stereotypically it is a fragile female who is the victim. As a result of this, we had a dominant female as the villain / antagonist. We switched the gender roles in order to challenge the normal conventions. Action and psychological aspects both are used to add to the suspense. With a psychological thriller, the conflict is through the mind, skills, and wit of main characters, reversing the more normal thriller, plot over character, expectations, i.e. a psychological thriller reader needs to understand the character. In this case, me and my partner used character over plot. This is because both characters have many dimensions and the stereotype that women are weak is challenged. Characters should not win using physical talents or efforts, but rather using their mind, wits, or smarts. Elements of drama, mystery, and horror can often find themselves in the psychological thriller due to the emphasis on motivation and the mind. There are life and death situations and certainly at the end, but this could well involve death or danger to the mind or intrinsic identity or values of the hero rather than a physical threat. Psychological thrillers often deal with common themes such as death, reality, perception, identity, existence, or purpose, and one or two of these themes should be wound through the novel. Motives and intentions are more important than technical aspects of how a crime is done. Readers expect the stories to focus around both the hero and the villain, via changes in point of view and scenes involving each separately. Genre consists of patterns, styles, structures which transcend individual films and which supervise both their construction by the filmmaker and their reading by the audience. Tom Rowell had used this line in order to give an understanding of what genre actually consists of. Furthermore, I looked into how it attracts the audience, and Neil 1990 said, genre is constituted by specific systems of expectations and hypotheses, which spectators bring with themselves during the course of viewing the process. As a result of this, I believe the audience will bring their own knowledge of the psychological genre and have certain expectations of the 2-minute opening title sequence that we can play with in order to give them their satisfaction. For our media product, we have used both non-diegetic and diegetic conventions. We had used background music and our own speech. As a result of using both, we have developed our skills and improved our media product by using a variety of editing techniques. In overall, I believe that my main product, which was the 2-minute opening title sequence, both challenges and develops forms and conventions of real media products. This is because I believe they look realistic and would easily fit into the psychological section on shelves in shops. Also, I feel that our psychological 2-minute opening title sequence does actually challenge forms and conventions via the character gender switch, but uses traditional psychological tropes and follows the form and norms of an original psychological trailer.